Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Crow Canyon Studios webinar on bots, NITRO Bots, bots for teams. We're glad you could join us today, and we look forward to showing you this presentation. We'll have some slides about, some information and slides about bots in general, kind of give an orientation, and then we'll go into some real-world scenarios that we can show you through the actual bots in action that we have. So it should be a pretty interesting and an exciting webinar to do here. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But first, a couple of things, or at least one thing I want to mention is that as far as questions go, if you have questions, we have a question box. James is on board, one of our top operations managers here. He's on board, ready to answer any questions you may have. If we don't get to that question during the webinar, we will be able to respond by email later after. And if there's enough questions, we might even post a blog about it, et cetera, et cetera. So, we definitely will answer any questions you have. You also can contact us directly, sales@crowcanyon.com, or give a call, or there's ways to contact us on the website, our crowcanyon.com website. So we really hope to hear from you. Any comments, any questions, good, bad, whatever, feedback. We're always glad to hear it. So let's jump into the webinar right now. And you can see my screen, I'm sure. Lead request the easy way. Well, we're covering bots in general. So this lead request is one way to do bots. We'll also be covering one in purchasing and one in IT support. So the title is a little bit maybe of a misnomer a bit, because it's really about bots and Teams and Office or Microsoft 365. And lead request is certainly part of that, but there's more to it, the bots, than that. So let me go through here. I'm Scott Restivo, President and CEO of the Crow Canyon Software Company. We've been around, this is our 23rd year, believe it or not. We've been doing Microsoft collaboration products for that time. And we started out with the Outlook Exchange World, the public folders, went into SharePoint on premises. It was starting with 2007. So, that's already, 14 years just doing that. And then 2010, 2013, and of course, 16 and 19, but now Office 365 and Teams are dominating a lot of our development time. So I'm back to talking about Crow Canyon software. We have business applications, out of the box business applications ready to go in SharePoint on premises, Teams, and Office 365. We have our Nitro Studio, very popular application creation, no code, forms and workflow solution used to replace InfoPath, Access, Lotus Notes, whatever, or just to, just put in a new process you want to automate on top of Office 365 or SharePoint. We do custom solutions, and we also do the AI and bot services. Definitely a growing part of our business, and we will be talking about that today, focused on that. If there is a webinar on Nitro Studio in 2 weeks from today, plus you can always contact us at any time about any of the other products or services we provide, whether you want a business application or our Nitro Studio forms and workflow solution. We are a preferred partner. We've been for many years with Microsoft, very close with them, partner, I guess ever since day one, probably a partner with them. And we also are a California certified small business, and we're getting on the GSA schedule for federal government, where that application is in progress, a little delayed due to COVID and all that, but we do expect to have that in Q1 or Q2 this year. We have a set of applications. I won't just read off the list for you, but if you're interested, you go to our website, you can see that we have like a lot of the core common business applications that are necessary. You could just get those, put it in place, and then you have this application running, a service desk or asset management or request management system onboarding. And our bots will interact with these. So there's the normal interface of the application in SharePoint or a portal, but our bots can also interface to those applications. We have the Nitro Studio, as I mentioned, the no-code application creation platform. People have a lot of fun with that, creating forms, workflows, building quite sophisticated processes into SharePoint and Office 365 in order to really help their system run better, their organization run better and more efficiently. Great product. We're really glad to be providing that to people, and the bots integrate with it intimately. So I'm going to talk about bots right now and go through it, then we'll get to the scenario. If you have any questions, again, put it in the webinar, in the questions box. And I'll go through this a little fast because I do want to get to the presentation of the bots themselves. So let me go through this. Bots. So just to give an introduction to bots. People are used to this kind of robots, C3PO and R2D2 and all this stuff, as it's really been an important part of a kind of science fiction culture, our culture, this whole idea of bots, the Terminator, iRobot, and all that. But that's not what we're talking about here at all, of course. We're talking about these kind of interactive conversational interfaces that appear in people's screens. Now, eventually we'll get to audio. That's it's one of our work we're doing where you can interact audio through microphone and interact with the bot. But right now it's pretty much typing in and typing back. But there is a lot of automation that goes on when that happens. It may not be as fancy as calculating the warp speed to get to the planet Tatooine or something, but you can get work done with these. You can do stuff like get a leave request going, or purchase request, or IT support, and users are adopting this more and more. It's kind of like the beginning of the whole bot, I almost call it like the bot revolution or something, but the bot implementation, we're seeing a lot of growing interest. We've been doing it for 2 or 3 years. We're in a bot 2.0 right now, learning a lot from our customers, learning what people need, and building that in and building more and more sophistication into the bots. But essentially, it's an interactive interface that is used to accommodate business processes. They have different kinds of service interfaces. You can have, work it out our web applications, or any application really, a SaaS solution or something, through a web page, through mobile, or you can now have a bot as another alternative for users to use. Connect to a cloud-based service such as Office 365, and then you have, let me go to the next one which shows Office 365. Yeah, so you have Office 365 up in the cloud. Now this is the point about the bots I should make right here. All our applications and our Nitro Studio run on SharePoint on premises. But I put this but in here, is that the bot service is for Office 365 and Microsoft 365 and Teams. So if you're in SharePoint on premises, we can help you out in many ways with business process automation through applications and through the Nitro Studio. The bot, though, is something that, because it's a cloud-based service using Azure Cognitive Services and things like that, then we are, it's for the online world at this point. Now, the Nitro Studio comes in with the Azure Bot Service running our bot. And the thing is about the bot service runs up on the cloud, and we can express it. We can channel it, you could say, through Teams, and that's primarily what we're going to talk about today. But I do want to add the point that because it's a bot service running up in the cloud, we can express it or show it, I guess is another way, have the conversational interface show through the web also. It's not limited to the one channel of Teams, our bots. There are other channels. You can actually have it show up on Facebook Messenger, Slack, and other places too. But primarily people are interested in Teams, who use Office 365, the growing use of Teams, very important, very rapid growth, especially since last March when COVID was, causing a lot of people to go remote, and still is. Teams grew in great use. And then of course the next question is, okay, I have Teams, how can I use it advantageously for my business? And the bots is one way to do it. As I mentioned, the bots, our bots leverage Azure Cognitive Services, which is bringing AI to the masses. You can say AI as a service is one expression I've heard. AAS, like AI as a service. The idea is that these large organizations, in this case Microsoft, have a lot of AI capabilities up there in the cloud, and they allow, they let our bot and other ways to access this amazing amount of AI capabilities up there, such as natural language processing, be able to process a user's request, find the keywords, even find the sentiment of those words, and then use that in our applications. For one example of that is our knowledge base search, where people can just type in, instead of needing exact words, printer, broken, it could be, well, the printer over there is not working, it seems to put out too much toner or something. And it'll parse it out and figure out that you're talking about a printer, toner, whatever keywords, and then do the KB search or an acting based on the natural language processing. Another example of that is that if someone sends an email, and we can parse out, called email sentiment analysis using natural language processing in part of our help desk or other systems, any kind of request or management systems with customers or employees, you can parse out and say, hey, that sentiment analysis of this email shows that that customer is pretty ticked off, and we better jump on it right away, and could be automatic escalation to manager in that case or something. All kinds of interesting things like that you can work out with the Azure Cognitive Services. So the bots have the power of the Azure Cognitive Services, and our bots have the special power of our Nitro Nitro Studio workflows behind it. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But I do want to make the strong economic argument for bots. I know they're a little bit to implement. It takes a little bit of adjusting. There's organizational inertia that maybe have to be encountered. But the economic argument is so strong that we're convinced that this will be the way that people eventually go. It may take some time, take some, getting used to, some, we're working on that, how to implement, how to drive user adoption of it, but the economic argument is very strong. They provide answers immediately. They avoid the double cost problem. What's the double cost problem, you may ask? Well, the double cost problem is this. If I submit a request as a user, I sit around waiting for the staff to resolve it. That's one cost, the time I spent waiting for a response. The second cost is the staff has to then respond to that. And when that response is the second cost. So there's two costs there, my waiting time as a user and the staff's time spent answering it. So the bot can eliminate both of those by answering immediately to the user's question. And that's also 24/7, no vacations, no time off. It could be any time of night, middle of Saturday night, you wake up and you want to know the answer to something, well, you can just ask the bot and it's there. You don't have to wait till Monday morning, for example. Can handle routine, repetitive tasks, freeing up staff for more important work. That should be obvious, and implement it correctly. A bot can really take a pretty big load off of IT or other kind of request management staff. Available on any device, any location, and it improves with usage. And that means that we'll talk about the bot analytics, how you can go by analyzing and looking at, we just released a PR about our bot analytics services. You can look back and say, what kind of engagement, what kind of conversations, what kind of results we're getting, and then use that to further improve the bot. And the idea is to get staff more productive, both the staff that has to respond to the questions as well as the users who are asking the questions. Instead of wasting time answering the same question over and over, technicians can work on more important tasks, update, maintain documentation, knowledge base articles, therefore improving the knowledge that's available to the bot, and they can effectively address more important issues that are higher, tier 2, tier 3 stuff. And they can also spend more time with customers and improving overall engagement and satisfaction. So it's a big economic argument for that. And also there's a case for better service to employees, kind of along the same lines. They're getting quicker, more accurate answers, always available 24/7. Not everything's buried in email all the time. And one-stop shopping, one place to get all the services. That's what we call the unification of services. We're going to be talking about business process automation with bots. Bots are not just purely, question answer. Hi, how many holidays we have this day? Oh, you got 8 holidays this year or something. Those kind of like, what's the square root of something? I don't know. Whatever question, this kind of question answer. What are my benefits? How do I feel? How do I do this? There's kind of an FAQ aspect to bots. This is what I'm trying to say. The Microsoft Q&A maker, for example, just takes your FAQs and imports it into a database, and then you align the questions and the answers. And there's really no context, no real, I'd say, intelligence per se in that. It's really just saying, user asked this question, and we're going to spit out this response over here. User asked another question, it's going to spit out that response. Those are the kind of FAQ bots that are pretty common out there. And they don't have a lot of intelligence. For instance, they don't have context. What I mean by bot context is this. If I ask the question, who's the president of France? It's going to say to me, Emmanuel Macron, I think it is right now. Emmanuel Macron, right? Okay, that's easy. I asked a question, it gave me an answer. But if the next question I ask is, what is his wife's name? It's not going to have any idea that I just asked about the president of France. It's going to say, what? His wife? I don't know who his wife is. That's what I mean about keeping context of the conversation going. And as a lot of that goes on with business process automation, it's important to keep the conversation going in a way that works towards a process that is towards resolution. So the thing is, what makes our business process automation bots fully powerful is the Nitro workflows that provide the power behind it. The Nitro workflows are part of Nitro Studio. Nitro Bots and the Nitro Studio workflows work together to provide a very powerful solution, not just for these, I won't call them frivolous, but like kind of lightweight question and answer bots. You certainly can do that with our bots, but we also provide the power of business process automation with the bots. And that's where it really takes off and becomes of true use in your organization to power request management, purchase requests, IT support, all kinds of other activities that you're doing in your business. I talked about the unification of services, the idea that users don't have to go all over the place to find the answer or look for how to enter in a question. They just go to the bot, and the bot is able to answer them, able to direct them to the right place. A single bot unifies the UX across the organization. So that is that they just go to the bot, and they ask the question. It can provide services across multiple departments as appropriate and how you want to configure it. NLP being natural language processing, interprets the user's entry, responds appropriately. Only one location to go to, the bot. I mean, they can go other places, but once they get used to the bot, it becomes very useful. And different departments can structure their bot according to their needs while maintaining the common interface. Very important thing there. And then that drives a continuous cycle of improvement. Users get quicker answers, less frustration, less friction. The staff is freed up for more important tasks, and company benefits from overall operational efficiency. Now, this is something that sounds like, oh, I've heard this story before, but bots are really quite a significant factor in this, and they're in a kind of nascent stage. They are kind of being developed more and more by companies like ours to be more and more productive and efficient and effective in organizations. I'm not going to say it's magically right out of the box. We're not trying to say just plug the bot in and everything's fine. It does take some work. It does take some configuration. It does take going through it and consciously and intentionally configuring it to be the way that works most effectively for your organization. And it's kind of usually a gradual approach where you'll put one part of it in and work out this request management through the bot, and then another and another. And that's why we have the improved self-service. I already talked about how it does all this, runs 24/7. I'll go over that. But the bot telemetry is what I want to go into next. And here's a slide on that. It's our analytic service. By having this results of the bot, you can see engagement. What's the quality of engagement? How many people is it being used or not used? What kind of devices? So you can use that information to further improve the user engagement and get it more use. And then the next thing is the conversations. What are the results? It's kind of like, people come to the bot. Okay, they came to the bot. That's one thing, engagement. The next is, how did they use the bot? And what kind of dead ends they run into? Where were the questions not answered? Where was frustration? So by getting these analytic services in place and looking at the telemetry, as it's called in the business, bot telemetry, you can see that there's ways to improve it, and the results can be taken to provide recommendations and guidance to further enhance it. So there's this idea that the bot improves, like good wine, matures with time, gets better and better if you take the effort to do that. So I think that's a pretty good introduction to the bots. Wanted to keep that to about 20 minutes just to give an overview, but I could talk about bots on and on and on. There's so much to it. It's a very deep subject, but a lot of aspects to it. Even just talking really about simple chatbots or these business process automation chatbots inside of Office 365 and Teams. There's a lot going on there. And if anyone wants to have further discussions about it, we can. We also have material online. And, it's a world that we feel like we're very interactive with our customers on and learning from each other and what is the best way to use these. What are the obstacles that you're running into as far as adoption? How can it be done in a way that the promise of the bots is realized in your organization? So with that said, I'm going to jump into a demo of the NITRO bots and go through some scenarios, okay? So give me a moment here just to switch screens, and we'll go into the NITRO bots and talk about 4 different scenarios that we've set up, and I'll get to show you that. Just give me a second to get that set up. Okay, I'm back. Catch my breath a little here. Okay, so here we are. Business operation, I talked about integration with the workflows. Again, I want to mention that the NITRO bots working with the NITRO workflows is really what we're seeing here when we do these demonstrations. So the first one is, here's a sample of use cases. We're not going to do all these today. We'd be here for quite some time, but we'll go through some of these. This is just a sample of many things you can do with bots. You can do leave requests, ticket assignment, IT support interaction with the KB serving as a way of giving the user some articles to consider before creating a ticket, perhaps. Purchase requests and approval, project management, create channels in Teams. You can list overdue tickets and then act on them. You can list contracts due to expire, notify about upcoming maintenance. All this will show up in your Teams bot. It's like the bot is kind of like a person in a sense that's communicating with you through chat, saying, hey, there's something needs to be updated or something needs to be maintained. There's some list of orders of the day. So many ways this can be used. The first one we're going to look at is the request approval, leave request approval. Somebody named Pavan is asking for time off, and Scott, that's me, is the manager. And here he's going to make a request. I'm going to be notified. I'm going to approve it, and then further workflows can run, such as notifying HR. So let me get that up here. Let's see, Pavan. Pavan is asking for time off. Okay, so I'm in Teams right now, using the web interface for Teams. You could use your desktop or mobile if you wanted. Right now I'm in this one. And you have your normal stuff in Teams, your chat, your team, your calendar, whatever you want to put here. And then we have a NITRO bot with added. Well, that's just go to a bot. Once you put in your company, you go to apps, search for apps, and then you can add it on to your, and pin it. You can pin it, see, pin or unpin it to the side. So there he goes. Bots can also be called by, like, in the middle of a channel. You could do add bot, just like you do add a user, it'll show up. But in this case, we're doing it strictly by treating it almost like another person here. So bot. Now we call it the NITRO bot. If you wanted different icons and different names for it, we could do it, but this is what we could. This is what we're doing right now. And we have this commands we set up. Now this command, the NITRO bot, okay, let me explain. The first 1.0 version of our bots were preset ones called staff support and self-service. I have still over here on the left. With the commands preset by us, and then they were not changeable because they were hard-coded in. But the second version, the 2.0 of the bot that we're out with now, called the NITRO bot, allows you to set up all these commands using our NITRO. There's a place in our Nitro Studio called bot configuration, and you can set up these commands and have a very, very granular control over what is shown. You also can make commands so that some commands show up for some people and don't show up for other people. It really is very much, you can be very sophisticated about what shows up for what based on AD groups. For instance, this is the commands for Pavan. And then if I went over to the this other person called SR, which is Scott, I look at the commands here, they're much longer for here. So this is the same thing. There's two different browsers. One is Scott, me, and the other is Pavan, the other user. Under here, under IT, for instance, 8 commands show up. For Pavan, only 4 because he's a regular user, and we put Scott as kind of the staff or manager user. So I'm just showing that you can have different levels of commands show up in there. None of this is set in stone anymore. This is all configurable on the back end quite easily. If you could just have one department here, just IT only, and just have it IT. So let's go to the scenario of the leave request. It's under request management. He wants to submit a leave request. And you never know, it's demos, everything's working right, but let's hope it is. He wants next week off. Next week off. You probably do it more than 1 week, 1 day ahead or 2 days ahead, but all these drop lists and everything could be set. Start date, give a calendar here, start on the 1st, end on the 5th. And description, winter vacation, I don't know, right? So he's filling out, now the point here, this is going to submit, but it is a SharePoint list application on the back end, but the person using the bot doesn't need to know that necessarily, or doesn't matter. But if we want to look on the back end here, I'll get to that. Ooh, let's see, I think I do escape. Okay, yeah, you never know what button to push on this stuff. Now I'm going over to here to this one right here. That's what I wanted to get to. So what are we on? Leave request, all requests. So here we are looking at the new request that was put in by Pavan about next week off. So the back end system in SharePoint, he put it through the bot and it showed up here in the back end of SharePoint. So it's interacting very closely with the SharePoint list in the back end, the SharePoint application in the back end with all its parameters and all its capabilities in the back end. So we're looking right now at the next week off, but the user doesn't need to know that. From this point of view, request was submitted successfully, and if he wants to see what was open request here, he can go look at his open request under request management and see my open leave request. So the point is the backend SharePoint is there, operating, fully functional. But from this point of view, the user doesn't have to do anything except submit a request in this and then can view the open request and look at the status and see, all this. It hasn't been approved yet. Meanwhile, we're back on the bot in Scott SR. So SR, being the manager of Pavan, got the notice in Teams to approve this. Same thing, winter vacation, right? Next week off, 2125. So I can look in the browser if I wanted to. I can approve it or deny it. I think I'll approve it. It's okay, have fun. And do okay. So, again, the back end is being updated, request is approved. Now, if I go back to the screen here to Pavan, you see it's been approved, right? And you can look at it here, and there it is. Scott, earned leave approved by Scott, blah, blah, blah. So he knows all about that. Now, what can happen at this point, being that it's a back-end SharePoint application running, we can have workflows running there also that when it is approved, something happens. Maybe HR gets notified, right? So HR, the interaction between the bot, the application, and our workflows is really seamless, because what happens is the leave request, the interaction with the leave request of creating a leave request, approving it, being notified that it's been approved, has all happened in the interface of Teams. No need to go to the back end at all. But the if you do want to run other workflows on the back end system, you can. You have the ability here to create workflows on this request system. And let's see. And you see next week off, if our Nitro Studio would run, and when the request has been changed to approved, here, whatever, the workflows can run. That would then inform HR or whatever needs to be done. And that informing of HR could be done through the bot or through a Teams or through an email or through whatever. So it really is adds another whole dimension to the SharePoint applications that's quite exciting and interesting. And I think it's really a really good use. Let's just take a look at that, just to say next request next week off using the Nitro forms we have. We're not doing a webinar on the Nitro forms. It's just kind of forms we can create on this, and it's you can see here that he's got all the information that he entered is right here, and approved. The comment of have fun is all here, and all these other factors that you might want to put into your normal application would be perfectly possible there. And if I was doing the Nitro Studio demo, I'd go into Nitro Studio and show you how to do the workflows and do the forms and all that. Anybody's interested, let me know, and we'll, we could either do a one-on-one, show you the Nitro Studio in more detail. But in this case, we're talking about how the bot is seamlessly interacting with the back-end system to give the users a very easy way to submit a request and approve it. Okay, that's just one example. I won't belabor that one too much. I think the next one is project management here, right? So we did leave requests. Now we're doing project management. Scott, that's me, is an IT manager and need to start a new project, whatever it is, OS upgrade or something. I go to the Nitro bot and create a project. Teams channel is created. And then I want to create a task for Pavan, and then I'll do that. So let's go through that scenario of project management using the bot. So who am I in? I'm in here. See the SR is Scott. My command, I guess I'll start up a new set of commands. So again, I'm showing a wide range of things in this demo. You may want to only use it for project management, only use it for request management, only use it for IT support. So let's go look at this. And you'll see here under project management, I can create a new project. Now, before I do that, I'm going to go over to Teams and show you the projects folder. Here's the projects folder. It has these projects in it. Okay, these are channels. It's not a folder really, it's a project Teams. I'm sorry, looks to me like a folder, but it's a project Teams. And under the project Teams are these channels that exist right now. Okay, let's go back to the bot. Let's go back to, it's in Teams. I'm going back to the Nitro bot. I'm going to create a project. Create new project. Okay, here we go. So it's going to give me the opportunity to create a new project using our project tracker application. Now I'm back-ending this to existing Crow Canyon applications. If you had a different application or a different process, we could, maybe some forms running somewhere and using our Nitro forms. Now, I really encourage people to use our Nitro Studio and Nitro forms, but the bot can run on any SharePoint list if you have Nitro Studio installed. Anyway, so let's say what I say, OS upgrade project. Okay, it's already there. OS upgrade project. If you want to put a client, all this other stuff in, you can. Give it a manager. Whatever you want to fill in about this project when it starts. Let's again start that next week, the week that Pavan's off. He's on vacation, remember? Maybe we better do it the next week after that because he needs to be part of this, right? So we'll go here. With him on vacation, we're going to have to make sure that enough staff is on board. I wish I could remember what month it is. There it's February 8th to 12th. So that's when we want to do this project, right? It's called OS Upgrade Project. We can put all the other information if we want, but let's just save it. Items created successfully, and we go back to our bot. And now we're going to look in Teams, that project channel, and we should see it show up here. We should see it show up. Maybe it takes a moment. Let's see, make sure it got here. Okay. Projects. Well, it will show up here. It's supposed to show up. So it's created, there should create a new channel right here. I think it just takes a moment to, maybe I have to refresh it. It takes a moment to do the workflow under there. We're under projects, right? Projects is right here. Projects.
Scott, go to 5 hidden channels. So it may be under there.
I think it came up under projects. I think that's what we did last time. So let's see. You think it's under another one? A 5 hidden channels? Oh, maybe
no.
here. No.
No.
Yeah, it'll show up. We did earlier today when I did this. That's what the Move Service New Building project was all about. So whatever. It normally would show up. I don't know, how these demos are, right? And I could fix it, but I don't want to take up everybody's time. Or fix it or show. But what happened is, this is one we did earlier today. James and I did earlier, Move Service New Building. It creates this new channel right here. But meanwhile, if we're back to the bot, it could be just time with workflow. They take their time sometimes. So let's go here back to the project. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. If you've done enough of these webinars and demos, that's like, you get used to that kind of thing. So what we want to do now is create a task. Now I created the new project, and theoretically it showed up under the project's teams as a new channel. We're gonna create a task. So I'm in here creating a task for somebody, and that task is gonna say, prepare for upgrade. And the project is right here. See here it is, OS upgrade project's already here. Let's just switch back for a moment. I think we were expecting it to come too soon there, Manish, and it's here. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. Because it wouldn't show up in that list if it wasn't. So I don't know. One of those things, right? Well, anyway, my point here is that it does create the channel. I'm not going to belabor that one thing, but I'm going to go back to NITRO Bot and say we're now creating a new task called, I say prepare for upgrade. Prepare for upgrade. Project is going to be the OS upgrade project. And the description is going to be need to be ready Monday, Feb 8th, right? Assigned to Pavan and submit it. Now that was again is me, Scott. So I'm going to go over here to Pavan. This one is Pavan. And Pavan should get a task here assigned to him that he has now to go this project. So if we look at the project tracker, if we're back here on the project tracker world, here in the project tracker, where is it? Projects right here. We're going to look, see there it is, came in. Prepare for upgrade. That little beep that I heard, I don't know if anybody else heard it, but the beep was that prepare for upgrade. Pavan now has this task to get ready He can look at it here. He can mark in progress, mark it complete, whatever he wants to do. But he's been assigned this task, and it will communicate with him in Teams that he can, needs to work on this, or send him notifications when it's overdue or coming due, or any updates that I make as the manager or anybody else makes in the system can be notified to him through Teams. So this is what I was trying to show here, is that using the bot, we can create a new project. That project can create a channel in Teams, and then later we can come in and start making assignments to the project, tasks that are related to the project through Teams, and then the user, whoever it is, Pavan in this case, sees it there and would be able to work on that way if he wanted to work on the project, the task. He got a new task. So if we look at the OS upgrade right here, 20 OS upgrade, where was it? Progress, start date, yeah, this one right here, project manager James. We see related items. There's a task right here for prepare for upgrade for Pavan. See, I created that inside of the bot as the manager of the project. Here it is, and it's showing up on the back end system as a task that's associated with the project I just created. So prepare for upgrade, and I can close it. And then I could also have Pavan view all his open tasks and those kind of things too. So it's pretty cool stuff that you're having this interaction between the two quite nicely going on here. And let's see if that project, I don't want to belabor this point, but it should have showed up here. Maybe it's just not showing, I don't know. It's here somewhere. All right, moving right along in our system here. Hope everybody find this interesting, because we've got a couple more to go here. We've got the purchase request, and we've got the support ticket lifestyle, IT support. So I'm showing you, leave request, project management. Now let's go to purchase. Okay, so Pavan, who is doing a lot of work today, Pavan, aren't you? So Pavan needs to do something in Chrome. Here we go. Pavan is in the NITRO bot, and now Pavan wants to get a new printer. So we go. So he comes to the bot. See, you're doing all these different departments in the same bot. It all depends how you configure these things right here. But he's doing a purchase request now. And notice there's other things here too. You can look at searches, you can view your open purchase request, you can do submit, and you can put other commands in here like that, like that kind of thing. The request management, you can view open leave requests. So it's not just viewing, creating and being told you have a task, but you can also look at them. For instance, the IT person can look at all the open tasks, assign them to himself. We'll go into that the next one. I'm jumping guns a little. So let's stick with purchasing. Submit purchase request. Submit purchase request. It's going to come up with a purchase request thing here saying need a new printer, and the type of purchase is hardware. And again, these boxes are all configurable according to what you want to put in here. You can change the boxes, have different boxes, all kinds of different ways of doing it. Reason for purchase, old one is not working. I don't know, maybe probably a little more than that, but they're one. Now the idea here with this that we have set up in the back end in our purchase request system is that anything below $2,000 gets automatic approval. Now, of course, that's totally made up. You could have whatever price you want, whatever level you want, whatever conditions you want for automatic approval, have no automatic approval, have it always go to the manager for approval, set up different levels of approval. You got to understand, it's just a demo, and the flexibility of this is enormous. So in this case, we're saying this less than $2,000 printer is going to be auto approved. And again, we have the back end system with the purchase request in it, showing it to anybody who's looking from that perspective. While at the same time, there are workflows running on the back-end system that will notify purchasing or other people that this request has been made and whatever they need to do to go forward and fulfill it. So what it's doing here, it's running a workflow that's saying, is this at the right level of approval or not? No one else needs to be informed. We set it up so no one else needs to be informed until the approval takes place. Once it's approved automatically, other workflows kick in, and there it goes. See, approval not required. Instead of purchase request with an automatic number on it, needs a new printer, it's approved. And what I would do if I was doing this, in real life, we'd have the purchase request approval then be sent over to whoever's going to fulfill, probably purchase order department or procurement or something, whatever. You even can interact with a existing financial system too. Just, depends on how you want to do it. We got incredible. I mean, we're doing this for 23 years, I mean, the bots for 2-3 years, SharePoint for 14, I think I said earlier. I mean, this is stuff we do night and day, quite literally. I mean, I'm not even making that up about night and day. Right, James? Right, Manish?
Yep, that's correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we do take breaks once in a while. So back in the purchase request. So that was that, and I could show you in the back end the successful purchase request submitted. But I want to do another one before I go there, called let's do one that's over $2,000, and we have that set up so if the person orders 2 laptops, and it's a hardware request, the priority is whatever, it doesn't matter what priority is. Here we go, Dell Vostros. I don't bother with that, but I'm gonna add 2 of them, and we're going to submit that request. Now this goes through a different process. The manager needs to approve this level 1 purchase, level $2,000 level purchase or above, and it's created successfully. But meanwhile, over here in my world, I should get a message, Scott, that this needs approval. I think it's just doing the workflow. There it is. Wow, good. So, I could be over in Teams, I could be, looking at my calendar, I could even be in Outlook, but all of a sudden you're getting this message, like, see, I have 2 messages right here at the bottom for my real Teams. This is the same thing you'd get in, if we run in the desktop version, you would know this is going on. That, oh, what's that? Oh, it's the bot. It's like someone called you or talked to you, wants to chat with you, right? The bot shows up a little indicator. What am I gonna do here? 2 laptops, I have to approve it. Okay, or deny or send back for more information. I can also click here to review. Now this is called an adaptive card, and we could put different levels of information here. Again, that's configured in our Nitro workflow to show this information in this way. And our Nitro workflow puts these action buttons in here in the adaptive card. This is very important, is that our adaptive cards are not just like cards like, here's information, like a billboard. This is actually actionable cards that are configured according to how we want to configure this adaptive card to be in our workflow, and what actions we want to put here, and how they can be. It could be any action we want here. We have a whole variety of actions that can take place and have buttons here. Of course, when approval, these are the ones that make the most sense. But in other types of interactivity, it could be like IT ticket. It could be add a comment or reassign it or close the ticket or whatever. And that'll be in the IT support, which we'll have enough time to show you. So here we are. You can put a comment in, approve task. You can say, okay. I mean, that's okay. Okay. Say okay, right? Okay. I don't know. If you want to put something else in, you could. If you're doing send back, you might put more information like, well, do you really need those 2? Or what about the ones that are over in the closet when no one's, whatever. So we're going to just approve it as the manager. Scott is the one who approves this. And then over here on our back end Pavan, we're back in Pavan's world, he should get a notice in due time. I mean, these workflows do take a moment or 2 to kick in, but he should get something that says your purchase was approved. You can also look at the view open. I think we still have that here, view open purchase request. View open purchase request, yeah, right here. So he can look at which ones are open and say 2 laptops right here, approved. So it's been approved, yeah, well, the one I just approved, 2 laptops. Here's the other one, there it is, here comes the card about being approved. And again, once it's approved, we can send that workflow there, but before I was so rudely interrupted by that bot, I'm just kidding. But the bot sent in this card while I was looking at these list items here. Again, this is a card that's configured inside of our Nitro workflows to show when you press this command called view open purchase request, it's going to go to the purchase request system, filter out the list according to which ones are open that are Pavan created, and show them here in this way with this title. We have a title, we have these subtitles here. This is all configured on the back end. And we were just, even before with this webinar, we were monkeying around configuring things differently just to show what could be done. It's very, very configurable. It's amazing in how much you can do. I'm really, really something. So if I do want to click that, 2 laptops list item there, it should show me the details of this 2 laptops, purchase request system here. So we're starting to see that the application interactivity and the functionality can do most of it through Teams as much as possible, to a very large degree, versus always going to the back end SharePoint or whatever to do that. So let's go here and look what happened here. It should have opened up that ticket right there. Is that it? No, that's the approval. So let's go click that again. I don't know. So it would open up and show the details of this particular item that I just clicked in a card, another kind of adaptive card. So we showed 2 kind of purchase scenarios. One is where no approval is needed, and one where one is. In a way, it's similar to leave request. If you need approval, the manager gets an approval card, says approval, and then goes ahead and approve it. Again, you can see how this adaptive card here has variations as to you can add comments and things like that. But let's move on to the next thing we want to do here, which is the IT support, and that's a little more involved. And I'll talk about that. And that's the scenario right here in our right here, support ticket life cycle. And don't worry about reading all that. I'll go through it. Okay, here's what happens. Here's the commands. And we're looking at IT, obviously, right? Now, I want to point something out here. This scenario is, of course, we created this for the demo. We have a submit ticket, and we have a search KB articles. What we were doing in our previous staff self-service bot, which is the 1.0 version, we were just giving the people the ability to do search KB articles directly. In other words, you couldn't create a ticket until you had described your problem and be given the option to look at some KB articles. Then you were given the option to submit a ticket. That works. Ideally, that would be the great way to do it. You have enough KB articles that the person puts in the search. He gets a KB article that is an answer, and then the ticket, there's no need for a further movement of a ticket, right? So we'll go through that scenario. But we do also have the option of submit IT ticket directly as an option in 2.0, because you create any command you want in the command section, and if you put it here in the configuration, it's going to show here. And it also can restrict it to certain users or certain AD groups and that kind of thing. A lot of flexibility. The point here, I was talking to Manish about this earlier today, is like, well, you could go either way. It really depends on how you want to run your support system. Do you want to, drive people through the KB articles first, or do you want to go to submit IT ticket directly?
And Scott,
what?
Scott, like based on talking to multiple customers, and we have seen like there are customers who want to provide this submit IT ticket as a first class, and there are some people who really want the self-help, where they want to drive through the KB creation, through the KB articles. So I think
exactly.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Customers make.
It's the same thing we saw with see in our portals when we do our portals. Some people want to have the KB front and center as the gateway through creating a ticket. Other people want to just give the user the option. So we're going to put a search, right there it said search KB. I clicked, and this would be like how it would work if you want to drive them through the KB articles. So really up to you, and that's what we really are glad that we have given this ability here to be flexible either way to do it. So printer not working. Because I'm searching KB articles, it's going to try and find an article that works. I guess I could have put my printer is not working, the toner is low, and done the NLP just to show that works. Sometimes they'll even do misspellings of the word. But here it presented this thing of printer is not working. Person can open it up, look at the article. If it solves their problem, everybody's happy. If not, then my problem's resolved, or you can enter more detail or show related KB articles, or go right ahead and submit a ticket or start over. And these, again, are commands that we put on here based on the what you want to see. This is where it's very, very configurable. I mean, what we do have, and I should say this, I should have said it earlier, but I'll say it right now. The Nitro Bot comes out as like a kind of open, you can configure it many, many different ways. But at the same time, we provide predefined templates for the bot. So we have right now an IT support bot that is running in Nitro. So it's like all the commands are already configured. Now, if you want to change them, you can, but you don't have to create it from the ground level up. It's not that hard. It just takes a kind of like, how do I want, consideration, how you want this workflow to work. But if you want to just have it already going, connecting to our IT help desk as the IT support bot, we have that template available. We have an HR one, we have a purchasing project. So kind of like the ones I'm showing you, you could get the Nitro bot and then just have it, install that configuration. I won't have time to show you that today, the configuration options, but there are configuration options where it's like a drop down and say, what bot template do you want to apply to Nitro bot in order to use it? And then that could be a place you take off, either use it as it is or modify it a bit, but it gives you a lot of things ready to go, pre-configured. It's a template in a way. Okay, this guy, this person, Pavan, says printer's not working. You give him some ideas on how to fix it. This depends on the quality of your knowledge base articles. And that's what we call data optimization. We can help you build a better list, or you may have a list already of articles. Also, if you have a help desk going already, it's you can convert in our system. Our IT help desk is easy to convert tickets into knowledge base articles. So you definitely can grow a pretty good set of KB articles of common issues. Also, with the bot telemetry I was talking about, the bot analytic service, you can see which questions are not getting answered by KB and then generate KB articles that answer, like if there's like five, some person's asking this question or multiple people repetitively, you want to put in an article about it. But in this case, that didn't, let's just assume that didn't satisfy his need. And so he's going to go submit a ticket. Submit a ticket already knows who it is, what they want. So it goes ahead and submits the ticket. And there it is, it's submitted. It's in the IT help desk backend. The staff is notified and all that. Here it is, submitted. Here we know it's all ready to go. You can, if a person wanted to add more information. In fact, what we could do is put little buttons on the bottom here for the user to add comments, or to say, oh, it's fixed. I don't need to, close the ticket because I already fixed the printer. All I had to do is turn it on. I found the on button, so it's fixed, right? Turned it on and now it's working, right? Have that button there. Oops, I just needed to turn the printer on. Have that as a button. How's that? Put that in there. But anyway, you can put whatever you want in the button and have fun with that. But the point here is that it's submitted, it's a ticket sitting in the queue, but meanwhile, me I put on my hat, change my hat to be an IT staff person, I can come in here and say, be notified by email, can be notified by team, all kinds of ways to be notified. But in this case, say I just want to go to the bot, I like working with the bot, I'm going to go to the bot and say, I just finished that ticket for these other people, I got some lunch, kind of relaxed a little. Let's see what other unassigned tickets are out there, right? I mean, IT's that way, right? You're always relaxed, kind of sitting around your desk doing nothing. Of course, right? Of course not. Anyways, here's all unassigned tickets. And you say, oh, look, there's a new one from Pavan. Again, we put different subtitle. I would put the person's name in here. That's something we should do in our demo more. But, you can modify the subtitle to be more descriptive as to what's there. So let's say, oh, look, the printer's not working. It's a new ticket. You put what time it was submitted, all that kind of stuff to make it really as useful as possible for the IT staff person to know that needs to be done. So here we go. So then, okay, I have this command to pick it up. I could go here and click it and view it in the browser, or I could just pick it right up or assign it to someone else. I'm just going to pick it up. Okay, I'll put here, well, I don't have to put anything in the work log at the moment, so I'll just say okay. So now it's been assigned to me as the IT person, and I could go figure out what I need to do to fix it. But if I still want to work in the bot world, maybe I forgot about the ticket or something, I come back and say, what tickets are assigned to me? View my assigned tickets. I go here and look at my assigned tickets. And then I'll see that the printer not working. It's been assigned to me. I could open it up and work on it. And I say, oh, okay. Normal assign. The requester was Pavan. That's assigned to me. And of course, you can put different pictures in here and all that, make it more presentable, but that's sort of secondary. So the work log, hey Pavan, what printer is that? Didn't put it in, he didn't tell me what printer, this printer. So I had that comment. Yo, what printer is that? Sort of like the bot saying that. It's like we used to joke, I don't know, I won't go into that. Yo, what printer is that? Wouldn't it be funny if it actually sound came out like you could put different voices on them with different accents? Yo, what printer is that, Pavan? So Pavan's like, kind of like, that's what the bot's saying right here. Yo, Pavan, hey, what printer is that, right? And the guy go, yo, Scott, yo, Restivo, that's the printer number, printer, and that's getting late in the webinar. I guess that's why I'm getting a little bit funny. I gotta keep straight here. Come on, keep straight. Okay. Printer 325 in admin office, right? Right? Whatever. So add the comment. Yo, James, it's that printer over there. Go over there and get it. Okay, so what happened with Scott? Oh, not James, Scott. So what did Scott do? Did Scott get a message that comment? No, that was my comment that was added successfully. Is the bot going to say, a signed person whose name is Scott, are you going to get a message here? I think I'm supposed to in this demo. I should know. Yeah, look at that. 2 of them. Wow. I don't know. Must be a workflow repeated itself, but I did get this message from Pavan saying, hey, dummy. No, hey, Scott, it's printer number 325 in the admin office. And then I could go ahead and further resolve it. Oh, and that's the other thing. Yeah, actually this goes, I got 2 minutes. Okay, so resolve it. Okay, I fixed it. I turned it on for you. There's the on switch. The power switch is on the left. You know, put a comment like, you know, I better not go too much further this webinar. I could get really kind of have a whole kind of comedy routine going here. You know, you do this stuff long enough. I mean, with IT, I've been doing IT ever since, I don't know how long, you know, since the early 90s at least. You have to have a sense of humor to survive it, believe me, as you probably well know. So here we are. Where are we? We're in the Pavan. Pavan's getting a notice back. It's been resolved. It's done. Look at that. It's great. And the person say, wait a minute. Reopen the darn thing. Of course, these again, you can have whatever commands you want here. And the person can all say, yeah, that's right. The switch is on the left. I'll know for next time just to turn it on and make sure the green light is going, you know, plug the darn thing in. But all right, whatever. So it's been resolved. And now we're gonna mark it closed, mark closed, close, mark closed. And we're gonna mark it closed. Because what we're doing is say a user's got to confirm it, right? You know, say, hey, we think it's fixed. And you say, it's not fixed. You got to reopen it. And but it is. So it's been marked closed. And what's our friendly Nitrobot doing at this time? Mark close. Okay, mark close. Thanks. So long. Thanks for all the fish. Close ticket, right? And closing it. And now we're saying there was a survey. Survey says. So participate in the survey. So we added this little trick on where you can say survey here to the user. I just want to show you a little razzle dazzle in the demo. You know, at the end of the demo, it's 12 o'clock. Hitting the top balloon button. You know, here in California anyway. Whistles going off here. So we're gonna have to end the webinar pretty soon. But really cool stuff on here. We can do so much with these bots. It's fun. It's just creative. It's really interesting. And I hope anybody who's interested will take a further look at the Crow Canyon Nitro Bots, our Nitro Studio, and show, get involved in what we're doing. I mean, it's nascent, very early stages. It's at the point where, if you study Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey Moore, that kind of stuff, what it is that the early adopters are adopting it. So don't feel bad if you're just like kind of peeking through the windows, kicking tires at the car shop or whatever. What you're doing is just kind of, that's the stage we almost expect you to be at this point. Just kind of walking by the store and say, what is that thing about bots I keep hearing these guys talk about? So, at some point in the future, I believe you will be, more seriously interested. If you are seriously interested now, jump aboard with us. We're on it. We've been doing this 2-3 years. We keep coming out better versions. We have a lot more, this isn't about bots per se, but we do have a lot of other webinars coming up. We're very involved in this business process automation to help your organization run as efficiently as possible using the Microsoft Office 365 and SharePoint worlds. And that's what we're deep into. Crow Canyon Software is very active in that world. We have a great team, and we're glad to help you. You can check our site, crowcanyon.com. Call us at sales. No, email us at sales. Call us at the number. Call us at the number. Email us at the email address. How's that? And then you can always request a demo. We're glad to have one-on-one conversations with anybody on this. So any more you want to talk about these things, let's go ahead. And for the conversation, we'll do a follow-up. We'll send you a recording. James, I ran out of time, but were there any questions? And if anyone stays on while I answer them, I can do that.
Nothing I wasn't able to answer during the course of the webinar.
Okay, great. All right, and anybody's interested in pricing and those kind of things, and we can talk to you about that. And so don't be afraid to call. Don't be afraid. We welcome any calls and any information, any kind of conversation. So thank you, James. Thank you, Manish, for helping out. And hope this was worthwhile and fruitful for everyone. And we'll hopefully catch you at the next one or next webinar, or we will, let me get that up, what the next webinars are here. If you want to join about Nitro Studio, February 25th, or Automated Asset Management on the 11th. So we'll do that. Everybody have a good day then. All right. Thank you for attending. Okay. Bye-bye for now.